Hello, vinyl community. I am here to do a response to Steve Harmless Rebel's 585 subscribers thread or contest. And what he was asking for is really two things. So give him a couple names for the record shop that he wants to open in Atlanta. And two, what do we look for in a record store? So to kick things off, Steve, sorry this is coming a little bit late, but I had two ideas come to mind for your shop. You can take them or leave them. But the first is really defined by one of the coolest bands to come out of Atlanta, and that is the Atlanta Rhythm section. Now, if you don't know the track So Into You, that is one of the sweetest jams to come out of the 70s for sure. So, what does this have to do with the name? So, here is what I came up with, which is a derivative of their logo. So, Atlanta Vinyl Selection. Or you can change the S to anything, or you can just go with the original R and just call it Record Selection. So, a nice little homage to the group. You may not be into them. I don't think a lot of people are. I mean, they only had a couple hit songs, but So Unto You is one of my favorite tracks from the 70s for sure. So the next one, I was looking for some originality. I did a cursory Google/Bing search and nothing came up on this name. So how about the Groove Mine? And just digging into the grooves and going for a dig, I wanted to hit upon that theme, and here's the logo I came up with. So your next question is, what are we looking for in a record store? Do we shop in a record store? And you had that question, do you shop exclusively online or do you go to a record store? I do a bit of both, and I really want both experiences. I mean, online you get things that you just cannot find in a record store, and I mean, I have a lot of obscure taste, and a lot of what I'm looking for, at least in foreign records, I cannot find in my local store for sure. Now, I do think I have to hit the record store. I like to support my local record shop. I like the fact that I'm in a store with people that have mutual interests, and I like to talk to the shop owner. So yeah, I have to do both hand in hand. I have to have a record store. I think it's good to have somewhere local, a local outlet. And so what do I look for in a record store? So number one, I look for personality. A lot of stores you'll see just have kind of a generic look or feel to them. They look like they're kind of haphazardly thrown together, and there's nothing wrong with those places, but my recommendation is to be original. Come up with kind of an original theme. I mean, paint something along the wall, like, have an artist come in and, paint the covers of your favorite albums. And I know you're a metalhead, I know you like jazz, so pick a couple of those, some of those iconic albums, and have them painted along the wall. Or another unique thing, in the United Kingdom there's a place called Vinyl and Pie, and they sell pie on the side. I mean, you could do something of a similar theme. And in Dallas, they serve that. There's a shop there that I'm just dying to go to, where you can buy beer and drink a beer and peruse through records. I mean, getting a liquor license might be a little bit tight, but something along that theme, something to make it original, make it a destination, make it a place that stands out from everyone else. That's really what I'm looking for in a record store. I mean, something that is a destination versus, oh, hey, I just want to go to a record store. No, this is a place I want to hang out. So, number two, I think record stores, you walk into them, they're defined by the records that they have on the wall. So, as you're picking up collections, as people are selling stuff to you, pick out the cream of the crop and put it on the wall. I mean, I walk in, I want to see some nice looking, some premium vinyl. I mean, I may not pay for it, but those rarities. I want to see those guys on the wall. And you know, you look at Amoeba, for example. Amoeba just has just this huge wall of records, and I mean, change it out frequently. I mean, just don't have the same stuff. I mean, you want to give the appearance that, you know, you're turning stuff over, and I mean, you know, every month you may want to change things up and give the store a different feel. So that's what I recommend. Number 3, music. I mean, I walk into some record stores that don't have any music. I'm like, hey, well, what's up with that? I mean, you're a music store. You got to play music. One of the things that I like about some of the record stores in the UK, which I don't see here too much, and it just makes sense. If you haven't built your shop out yet, next to the cashier table or just on the counter, people have a place where they have a player, so you can get yourself you know, a good quality belt-driven turntable, and just have it there and connect it up to a stereo system. People ask, hey, what does this sound like? You can just immediately throw it on, and you can keep the records going as you're sitting there behind the counter. So for me, that's a cool idea. If you haven't built the counter space up yet, make it out so you can insert like a Techniques or a Newmark or one of the good belt-driven turntables. Number 4, get to know your customers. So there is a record store also in, I want to say, London, called If Music, and the Vinyl Factory channel has featured If Music quite a bit. And the owner of If Music, Jean-Claude Thompson, I saw this in an article once. So this guy used to sell clothes, and you know, he was really into sales, and you know, what made him so great at selling things was he got to know his customers, and he translated that to his music store. So get to know your customers. You know, you're going to have a base of people that will hit your store frequently. Get to know them, get to know their musical taste, and look out for them, because you know, they're looking for that 1 or 2, 3 or 4 rare records. And if you keep it in mind, hey, I know this person likes this, or this person's been on the hunt for this. If you watch out for them, you put it off to the side, you give them a call, hey, there's no better experience than, you know, just going that extra effort for the customer. And, you know, that'll only grow your base even further. Number 5, get yourself a character. So every single record store I've ever been in, on a frequent basis, you know, they've had that one crazy odd guy, you know, that, you know, just his life revolves around records and he doesn't have much else to do. And yeah, it kind of makes a store. So, you know, initially when you start up, you may not have that, but you know, you can always rent yourself a bum off the street, or go find yourself a local crazy guy and say, hey, I'll pay you $10 and a case of beer. Just come into my shop and hang out and talk to people. But eventually, over time, you'll have those 1 or 2 guys that, you know, just make regular appearances, and it's kind of like a sitcom. I mean, if you've ever seen Mean Mr. Mayo's channel, he does videos from his local record shop, and there are characters in there. So that's what makes his channel so appealing, is, you know, it's like a record store sitcom. The last thing that just really comes to mind, and I think a couple others have hit on this. I know SMF Captain Howdy has hit on it. So number 1, if you can get cheap poly bags and bag all your stuff, that would be fantastic. My local record store does this, and you know, it just protects from ring wear for the most part. Customers really appreciate it. I mean, you know, some people just keep the bags. It just protects the vinyl. And I know you want to pick up used, and I think that's important. You got to have a good mix of used and new stuff. But used, you know, bag it up, and do not put the price sticker on the record itself. That's an annoyance of mine. So yeah, just it helps if you have the bag and you can put the sticker on it. So hope you like this entry. If you don't take my ideas, no harm, no foul. Good luck with the store. There's nothing better than a record store and spending a day in the record store. So if I ever make it to Atlanta, I hope to check out your store. So thank you for watching, everyone.